What is up, everybody? J Nell here with my UFC 219 prediction video. It's happening this Saturday. It's the last pay-per-view of the year, and I think it's a pretty stacked card, especially if you know what you're looking at. First up on the prelims, it's from Las Vegas, real quick. And first up on the prelims, I'm choosing Khalil Roundtree Jr. to beat, and I so apologize for this, Michal Oleksiejczuk. I will figure it out. I will do better on the recap video, I promise. But I'm choosing Mr. Roundtree Jr. to win. That's the main event of the prelims. That should be a very good fight. And Khalil's actually one of my guys to watch. Now, on to the main card. I'm choosing Carlos Condit in his return to beat Neil Magny. Now, if we see the old Carlos Condit with all his diversity, his tools, and his killer-like instinct, and fully the kickboxing and the Muay Thai, good wrestling, good submissions, he's faced a higher level of competition. I think he's a little bit faster. Neil Magny, though, is really smart. He's really tough. He has better jiu-jitsu. I think he is better on the ground. He's in form. Plus, he still wants to be there. Now, we don't know if Carlos Condit really wants to fight anymore. That's the biggest question mark for me. And I think we'll find out in this match because Neil's going to make him fight. So I'm picking Carlos, but I'm nervous about this whole card. If you ever use my opinion at all to bet, I would not do that on this event. All right. Next up, I'm choosing one of my fighters to watch. I'm choosing Cynthia Calvillo to beat Carla Esparza. I think this is an important fight for both ladies. Carla needs to get back on track. This is a big win for her if she gets a win over someone who has a lot of heat on them. Cynthia, this is her biggest wrestler to date. She has mainly had stand-up battles. She does have some good jiu-jitsu. She has been on the ground, but I think Carla is her toughest test on the ground. She's relentless, and if she can keep this fight standing, or if she can survive on the ground and get past Carla, I think she'll prove that she does actually belong in the upper echelon of the 115-pound division there. But again, that's another close fight, and I'm not sure how that's going to go, but I am picking it for my fighter to watch, Miss Cynthia Calvillo. Next up, I am choosing, also very nervous, I'm choosing John Lineker to beat Jimmy Rivera. Okay, Jimmy Rivera is going to have a bit of a reach advantage, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter. He has a higher offensive output, I think, and I think he might have quicker hand speed. I think he's going to need to fight long. I don't think he's ever felt the power that he's going to feel from John Lineker, and that disrupts everything once you feel that. John Lineker is going to need to walk him down like he's great at doing and fight in the pocket, which he's fantastic at doing. I think that John Lineker has better mechanics, especially in close quarters, not dirty boxing, but in closer space in that pocket, punch it, push Jimmy back, have him backpedaling the whole time, keep him close to that fence in that 3 feet radius outside that black line. If you can keep them there, keep the fight there. On the ground, I'm not sure. Jimmy does have some wrestling, but they're both strong. I'm not sure who would win the wrestling battle, so I think that might be interesting if we see a stalemate on top. I think this is a sleeper fight. Could still fight of the night. Don't sleep on these two. I think they're actually going to put on a show, and I'm picking it for John Lineker, but all right. Co-main event. Now we're seeing, finally seeing again, Mr. Khabib Nurmagomedov against Edson Barbosa. Both fighters that I like. I tend to like Edson a bit more. We see him more. He's more active. And I don't know why everybody's just simply counting him out the way that they are. He is a Muay Thai extraordinaire with the amazing kicks. He's very strong. He has good wrestling, good submissions, and he has good hands. We've seen that his boxing has come along nicely. He's improving in every fight. And I believe he needs to fight Khabib the way he fought Anthony Pettis. He beat Anthony Pettis with his hands. It was the hands that got the game going. It was the jab that got the game going. I think it was a left that got the game going. It opened up his kicks. He was actually setting up his kicking attack was coming behind the punches, and the punches were lighting Anthony Pettis up. I'm excited. Anthony Pettis up. So I wouldn't discount Edson Barbosa. He also has a 5-inch reach advantage over Khabib Nurmagomedov. He has a shorter leg advantage, which is kind of interesting there. That awkward measurements there of Edson Barbosa, but with the way he kicks and the way he uses his legs, he's gonna look quite longer than Khabib Nurmagomedov. I don't know why I always say his whole name. It's fun. He's going to look quite longer than Khabib. He's going to fight quite longer than Khabib, so he needs to keep his distance. And since you have a 5-inch reach advantage with the hands, Khabib has some stand-up. He has enough for his wrestling to come up underneath it. He has enough to get you paying attention to that stand-up. But with the 5-inch reach advantage, you need to box him, Edson. Box him. The way you boxed up Anthony Pettis. Let your kicks and stuff come behind that. Keep your kicks low. Keep your kicks low. Let's talk let's talk about the wrestling pedigree of Mr. Nurmagomedov. He is a wrestling extraordinaire. When he gets you down, the way he's able to apply pressure and hold you there, ride your body anytime you move, he's able to have that right counter angle, counter leverage through the way you're trying to move. It's almost impossible to get off from underneath him, and I think it would be almost impossible for Edson to get off from underneath him. He's got great submissions that come behind with that wrestling, and it is MMA wrestling, which means he beats you up. He's not just trying to move you around. He is punching you in the face. He's throwing those elbows. He's kneeing you to the gut. He is beating you up while he is manhandling you on the ground. He gets stronger when he gets on the ground. I'm excited for this fight. So Edson needs to keep this standing. Keep your kicks low. Attack that calf, the lower calf kick, the way we saw RDA attack with Robbie Lawler. It's a harder kick to grab up, to snatch up. It's a harder kick to block, and it's a harder place to add muscle mass. A lot of fighters are weak there. Attack that lower calf with them hard kicks. Now, who do you think is going to win this fight? I am going to go ahead and go with Khabib. If he does get him down, I think he is very strong. He has a good chin. I think he might barrel through and be able to get his hands on Edson. And if that does happen, Edson's going to be in trouble. However, I'm just kind of ready for all of this massive amount of heat behind Khabib. Is he going to capitalize on it or not? Boom or bust. What's going to happen here? Because you just don't fight enough. I'm just not a believer yet. You don't fight enough. This is a what have you done for me lately type of industry, and you just haven't done much. You fought twice in 2016, but your last fight was a year ago. Before that, 2 years ago. Yes, you had the impressive win over Michael. But then before that, it was Horcher, who's not even ranked in the top 15, and Michael's now in the featherweight division. So for me, I need to see something from Khabib. I know you got a whole country behind you. I know you got charisma that shines through your language barrier. I get it, but I need to see something. So I'm picking you. Show me something. Now, main event, and we're finally, to me, seeing the beginning of the women's featherweight division. We have the women's featherweight champion, Miss Cris Cyborg, taking on Holm. This was supposed to be the inaugural featherweight title championship in the first place, so I'm excited to finally see this. And again, I think this feels like the beginning of this division. Now, who's going to win? We've got the challenger, who I think has the best shot to win, one of the most highly decorated female combat sportsmen in the world. Multiple boxing titles, multiple kickboxing titles, bantamweight championship, beat Miss who thought to be unbeatable, Ronda Rousey. Now she has the chance here with the really unbeatable Miss Cris Cyborg, who hasn't lost in, I think, 12 years. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Holly Holm is big. She's always been one of the biggest chicks in the 135-pound division. If you've seen her lately, she's added more mass. I don't think she's going to have a problem. Their measurements-wise are almost very similar, only like an inch difference in their hand reach and their leg reach, and they're the same height, so they're going to be around the same size, although Cyborg, to me, is going to be much thicker. I'm positive, actually, that she's going to be thicker, bigger arms, bigger torso, not thicker legs. No. Holly Holm got them tree trunk thighs. So not thicker legs. She's gonna need them, use them legs to keep Cyborg at a distance. We all know that. We all know that she needs to drag her into the later rounds, maybe possibly tire her out, maybe possibly take her down to the ground if you see an opportunity there. And anyone can get knocked out with a kick to the face, especially 50 pounds of pressure like she hit with Ronda Rousey. So that is open there. And I think she can let her legs go because, yes, Cyborg, I believe she has a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. She does have some wrestling, and she's just all out strong. But I think meeting someone who can match her kind of size for size, who has them thick legs, and who has good wrestling herself, I think that Holly might be able to take them risk with those kicks. Now, I think she might be pointing her way to a victory here, a 5-round decision. I don't really see her finishing Cris Cyborg, but again, anybody can get knocked out with a kick to the face. And we saw from her fight with Germaine Dorotamy that she's got some hands too. So I think she's gonna have to keep a distance, try to drag her into the later rounds, but make Cyborg respect her, which means she's gonna have to land. She's gonna have to land some hands, land some kicks, but you're gonna have to put hands on Cyborg, make her think, because Cyborg has gotten better. And she's only 32 years old. Did you know that? With not very many miles on that MMA body, she's gotten better. She's putting boxing skill behind that crazy power, and it's scary. The time to beat her is now. She's got head movement now. She's got shoulder rolls now. She's got all kinds of lateral movement and better footwork now. She's getting better. She's getting better. And yes, Tanya Evinger took it on last minute. She was a smaller fighter and she lasted into the second round. But what we saw from that was the skill increase from Cris Cyborg. So it's now. You're going to have to make her respect you, Holly Holmes. You're going to have to lay hands on her because she is going to walk you down. Okay? She's going to come at you because she comes to your chest. She's going to push up against that fence and she's going to try to knock you out, man. But she's not going to blow her load like she used to. She's not going to fight. It's not going to be chaos. It's control now from what we saw in that last fight. It's scarier now. Skill behind that power, and she can knock any lady out. Cyborg can knock out half the men walking around here. So the time to beat her is now. I think Holly Holm needs to keep her distance, but get those key opportunities to come in and make her feel your kicks, make her feel your power, because you got to get her respect, because she's going to walk you down, and you need to make her think about it. If you get her up against the cage, maybe some dirty boxing, maybe try to weigh on her, lay on her, try to get her down on the ground. I don't know what's going to happen if it goes to the ground. They both got good ground game, good submission skills. So I'm excited. This is going to be a highly skilled contest. And you know me, I love the drama. And I want to see this division get started. And a nice string of title fights between these ladies might be the one thing to do it. So I'm going to call it for Holly Holm. Calling it for Holly Holm. And then I would love to see an immediate rematch and have Cyborg get the next two, boom, and then let her start her championship run in that division. But to start this division off with 3 title shots between these 3 ladies, if they can be competitive and exciting, especially if Holly beats her the first time, oh, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So I'm calling for Holly Holm, but we're nervous. Come on, we know Cyborg. Come on, we know Cyborg can knock anybody out, and I doubt that Holly is favored. So again, if you bet, don't take my advice on this card. I'm super excited for it. Let me know all your picks, any injury updates, how you feel about this entire card, especially this main event and the co-main event too. Give me your picks, any injury updates. Like I said, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Snapchat now. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.